the difference a couple days makes is pretty impressive. So over Thanksgiving, had a friend come up and help, and we got the pallet racking installed. I do still need to bolt it to the floor. I have the concrete anchors, and I picked up the concrete bit today. I thought I had the concrete bit, but I picked up the wrong type of attachment. So that did not pan out the way I wanted it to. And I still have a lot of organization to do, but most importantly is we have a clear path from one end of the shop or the shed to the other. We got some of the electrical work done. If you can see, and I'll walk down there in a minute, but there's a panel down there, and we went ahead and ran a 2x6 all along the back there to this side. I got my John Deere sign up in the corner. I have, that is a temporary light. That is the lights I will actually use for the building. But that is on a motion sensor when you walk in the door here. Sorry about the sunlight. So basically when you walk in the door, set to auto and the light comes on. And there will actually, like I said, this is a temporary light right here. Basically just needed to get some lights in here, and running the conduit took a little bit longer than I anticipated. What we basically ended up with is we ended up with the light here, which the light also controls this switch right here, which turns on the deer sign, which is kind of cool. I really like that. I'm going to keep it off because it is a fluorescent, so it's not, I'm not going to turn it on all that often, but it is up there, and that way it keeps it protected out of the way and stuff. And then there's an outlet here. There's only one outlet that's active. They're both 20 amp outlets. I prefer 20 amp outlets over 15 amp outlets. Eventually we'll run another breaker for this other outlet, so there'll be two breakers and two separate circuits in that outlet right there. We basically got, dogs must be having a really good time. I just saw one fly by the window. Basically got all of the conduit run, and there's going to be a couple changes. Basically from here we're going to use this junction box to where that light is now. That will eventually become the power for the garage door opener. That light will actually, the circuit that light is on will actually go eventually for all the lights that go down the middle here. So there's going to be a total of 18 of those LED lights that go basically down the middle, and then there'll be one on either side of it. The middle ones are going to be the ones that are on a motion sensor. Gracious plenty. I think if you put all of the lights on the same circuit, it would be something like 8 or 9 amps. But what we've decided to do is I'm actually going to have either 1 or 2 zones per se. The middle, I'll probably just do 2. We have the middle one, which will be on the motion sensor, and then we have the 2 outside that will be on a switch, which that is the extra switch in the box there. We've gone ahead and we've run all of our T's, so along with the common ground coming up, so we can run all that. So the T's are already there at each truss, and hopefully I may have an electrician do that, because the problem I'm having is the fact that this floor, that truss up there is almost 16 feet in the air, which makes it extremely difficult to get to on a 12-foot ladder. So I think that we may either I may either rent a scissor lift, which would require me to do it all in one weekend, or I may just have the electricians do it, and then I can install the lights. Because there is some more wire, there's a significant amount of wire that needs to be done. One of the reasons that we did not run more wire this weekend is because Lowe's was out of 12 gauge white stranded wire. So we wouldn't have had a proper neutral. So here's the panel all installed, 200 amp QO panel. We have so these 2 breakers right here, 2 20 amp outlets on this end of the building. If you want to go out this door right here, you can. Eventually, we'll probably poke another one out, and it'll have to go, I believe, You might be able to make it there. Have to walk over to this side. Yeah, we're gonna have to go up and over the garage door to right there for the garage door opener on that one. So we'll have to run some conduit there. And I think that'll be it for the initial power. Ultimately, there will probably be some more power needs out here. I will probably put a 220 volt outlet, things along those lines. So really good, productive weekend. Pallet racking, I'm really happy with. I got a lot of organization to do. If it's not obvious, I have a lot of stuff that I have to deal with, but we'll get there. And then also, I don't know if you've seen it so far, got a lot of the tractors organized, things along those lines. Really need to do something with that Toro down on the end. Got the round fenders, 1445, the 317. Not sure what I'm going to do with that. Got the Power King, the 140. This is the 445 that I worked on a while back. Don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. 2 parts, 318s, 110, 110, a 455, and then some attachments down here on the end, and then the balance of all the tractors are in the regular shed or shop. So eventually the plan is we probably will put that generator in the corner and we'll use it as 3-phase power for the other building, or have some type of disconnect for it that we can plug into for the other building. And we'll just actually just go, I think we need 4-inch conduit to do that, to run 3-phase power. Have to talk with the electricians to do about that, and we may just continue to move that back and forth on that running gear. So I don't know about that, but up for this week, I got to get the blower on the 1445. Have not done that yet, so got a lot of work to do. But really happy with how all this turned out and how this building's coming together. It's coming together just the way I planned. So one comment I would make, now that I'm sitting here staring at the racking, a lot of times, what I would encourage you to do if you're looking at getting pallet racking, price check new racking. Only because if you start looking at specs, so for instance, each one of these shelves I think can handle 2,000 pounds. I think that's what they're rated at. You don't need any thicker, you don't need any bigger shelves than that, because I mean, the 322 is the heaviest thing that I have up there, and undoubtedly I do need to anchor it to the ground because that's something that heavy is that high. But realistically, the problem that a lot of people think that pallet racking is very, very expensive, which it's not cheap, but if you are out there and you're shopping on Craigslist and Facebook and stuff like that, you never quite know what you're going to get. And if you ever want to add something, you have to find a similar style. All of this is Steel King. I get it from a dealer in Iowa. And he's basically sold me all my pallet racking that I have on the place. This bit of shelving right through here with the galvanized wire decks was right at $1,500, which, to be bluntly honest, is pretty daggum cheap to me for what it is. So I think that if you got on Craigslist or Facebook and you started something like that, you might be able to save a couple $100, but you're going to maybe deal with mismatched racking, or you're going to deal with racking that's one of the big things with racking is you're going to run out of if you only need 1 or 2 sections. So the weight rating is more or less defined by how thick that tube is. The thicker the tube, the higher the weight rating. Well, the thicker the tube, the less space you have to store stuff, if you think about it like that. So basically this whole shelving system is designed for the X748, except for everything on the top. The X748 put all of this stuff on this pallet racking except the stuff in the top. So, you know, if you have a 1 series or even a 2 series, you're not going to be able to use those very top racks for much weight, because your machine can't get lifted that far if you're going to put it in a shop or garage or something along those lines. So a consideration to really take into account is, you know, rating of racking and versus, you know, what you can get, what type of racking you can get used. Used racking is fine, But a lot of times what I see when I go to auctions and stuff like that is people are paying $400 or $500 per section, and that's just not realistic. Not realistic at all. And $400 or $500 per section, I mean, that would be, you know, say $300 per section. You know, I've got 5 sections here, and so I mean that'd be, you're paying new for used. So anyway, that's just something to consider when you start shopping for racking. Hopefully that helps somebody out. But overall, you know, really happy with the improvements. I will continue to do, I might do another video on it when I have the new lights in place. Let me see if I can find the lights over here. These are the lights we ended up with. And I can't remember if I showed these yet. I trial ran some of these. Seiko High Pro multi-beam, 60 watt, 500 K temperature. They are 7,800 lumens. The new ones are actually a little over 8,000 lumens. That means I'll have over 140,000 lumens in this building. That's a little over 2,400 square feet. You can adjust them to look different ways in terms of what you need. The only big thing though is they do have a mogul base. Mogul base is a little bit larger, and so you need some type of adapter. I don't see any of my adapters out here. So you'll need some type of adapter if you're going to put it in a regular light socket, or you'll have to install mogul base sockets. So, which I just bought. Let me see if I can get behind the light here. If you can see that, let me see. Lock the light here. If you can see, there's an adapter on the socket adapter on that, and that's just the mogul base adapter. So, but those are lights. I really like them. I think they're $80 a piece, but they have a 50,000 hour life. And the big thing for me, they're multiple voltage rated, IP65 rated, and operating temperature of -4 degrees Celsius, or -4 degrees Fahrenheit to 149 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really what I needed in a building that doesn't have any heat. Here in South Dakota, where it will routinely get to -20, -30 every winter, you want to make sure you walk into a building and when you turn the lights on, they come on. So. Questions, comments, leave them below. I'm gonna go see how much fun the dogs are having. Thanks for watching.